March 6th, 2023, LeBron James posted to X saying that Bronny was definitely better than some of the players that he'd been watching on League Pass. Now, even with as good as Bronny was in high school, becoming a top 20 recruit and McDonald's All-American, this would still be a wild thing for Bron to say. This post from Bron would be one that was aging terribly through Bronny's first 5 preseason games, as he had looked abysmal and like somebody that didn't even belong on the basketball floor. The numbers test for Bronny would be just as bad as the eye test. Through his first 5 preseason games, he would only average 1.6 points per game, while shooting just 20% from the field and 0% from 3. I don't want to sound hyperbolic or anything, but I know for a fact that I could get out there and shoot better than 0% from 3. I'm telling you guys, Bronny was looking bad. He was looking like somebody from Space Jam who had all of their powers taken twice. That's how bad that things were for Bronny. I knew the struggle was real when Gilbert Arenas came to Bronny's defense, saying that everybody's judging his basketball game, but nobody's judging Bronny as an influencer. He has even more followers on social media than Patrick Mahomes. I actually fact-checked this, and he does indeed have more followers than Patrick Mahomes. But why in the world would his basketball critics care more about his follower count than his on-court production? Have we lost the plot that much? Is the future of basketball discourse really us talking about who has the most followers instead of us talking about who has the most on-court production? I guess I should have seen this coming when ESPN let Zach Lowe go and then gave Kendrick Perkins a multi-year extension. So with the haters salivating over this train wreck of a start to Bronny's preseason, in Bronny's preseason finale, he would give them something else to talk about. But first, guys, this is the best time of year. Both the NFL and the NBA season are here, which means that there are more ways for my partner Underdog to help you turn your takes into cash. With Underdog, you could win up to 1,000 times your money by just choosing higher or lower on player stats like points, rebounds, threes, and much more. Here are my picks for opening night. Let me know what you guys think about them down in the comments below. You might have noticed that my lineup only consists of NBA players right now, and that's because NBA-only entries are profit boosted on Underdog for the opening week, making Underdog the best place to play. Now, when you guys click the link in the description to sign up, make sure that you use my code COOP, because with code COOP, you can get up to $1,000 in bonus cash along with the free pick. And it's also a great way to support the channel. Thank you, Underdog, for the sponsor. So in my last Bronny James video, some of you guys let me have it for not calling Bronny James the worst basketball player on the planet. And the thing is that I was incredibly critical of Bronny in that video, and yet I was still accused of being on LeBron's payroll. That's insane, but also some high-level trolling at the same time. I understand that a lot is weird about how Bronny got to where he is today, and even I have some reservations about the reports that have come out surrounding his situation. But the more that I have followed Bronny James, the more that I have seen that he's just playing the cards that he's been dealt. Bronny himself has said that playing with his dad was never his central goal or the main thing that he was thinking of ahead of the NBA draft. He's also said that he wants to put his own narrative out there rather than just being LeBron's son. But if you were named after your dad and strings are pulled ahead of the draft to land you on your dad's team, and then after the draft, you're rewarded with this guaranteed 4-year, $7.9 million deal, which is ultra rare for a 55th pick, then I can understand why people might feel some type of way. At that point, the situation that has been bestowed upon you isn't doing you any favors, even though you may seriously want to create your own legacy. Now, the poor performances really aren't doing him any favors either, but if you're Bronny James, you just have to take the good with the bad here, which he's been doing. I really haven't seen Bronny complaining that much. But Bronny James going to the Lakers was always going to be a distraction, and the Lakers knew this, and they knew what they were signing up for. Even Bron's former teammate, DeMarcus Cousins, said that he doesn't think that the Lakers are serious anymore with them drafting Bronny, and he's definitely not the only one who feels that way. But the flip side of that coin is that Bronny is actually a solid 55th pick. There's a reason that other teams wanted Bronny who weren't the Lakers. Unless you want to play the influencer game like Gilbert Arenas, then I think it's important to separate the player from the situation with Bronny. You have to understand that Bronny was indeed the 55th pick in this past year's draft. He wasn't a lottery pick, he wasn't a first round pick. This man went in the 50s. I understand that doing so might be hard for some people because of the target on his back with him being LeBron's son, but you seriously have to put things into perspective here. For some perspective, in Bronny's final preseason game against the Warriors, he looked so much better than the Lakers' top 20 draft pick from last year, Jalen Hood-Schifino. If the Pelicans had a 20-year-old 55th pick that did what Bronny James did against the Warriors in that preseason finale, then I would be feeling pretty sick about that pick. Just look at some of these past 55th picks from the last 10 years. We're just going to go ahead and cover up Aaron Wiggins' name. Okay, that's much better, but yeah, look at some of these names. I'm just saying that you could do a whole lot worse than Bronny James at 55. So in the Lakers' final preseason game against the Warriors, the Lakers would lose by 58. But in the Lakers' defense, they really didn't play any of their rotational players. It was a nasty game for the Lakers and their faithful, but at least Bronny James would have his best game yet, just a night after fellow rookie Dalton Knecht pulled out his best Devin Booker impression, which if you guys want a Knecht video, then just drop that comment so that I can start on it ASAP. And be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss that one or any future videos for that matter. Against the Warriors, Bronny James would go 7 of 17 from the field and 1 of 5 from 3 for 17 points. Add 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 steals, and a block to that, and that's not a bad performance by Bronny. Even though Bronny only made 1 3, it was still good to see the ball go through the net from distance. As I said in my last Bronny James content, he is way too small at 6'3" to be a poor 3-point shooter. The faster that he becomes a consistent shooter, the faster that he can carve out a role at the next level. For a guard like Bronny, once the ball goes through the net from distance, all of a sudden you'll have defenders flying at you. And when they do, you'll be able to attack poor block attempts and closeouts more fiercely. Take a look at Pods here. He tries to split the distance and loses track of Bronny, who slides down to the corner. Pods, who has no choice but to close out late or fly at Bronny for a contest, flies right by Bronny, who dribbles into an in-rhythm, uncontested floater. That's some smooth play from Bronny. Here, Bronny attacks a closeout, dribbles into the mid-range, and knocks down an uncontested jump shot. These are great shots and show an improving ball IQ. ISOs and self-creation might get all of the attention and hype, but at the NBA level, there's a lot of value in being a good cutter, being a consistent shooter, being able to attack closeouts, and being able to make quick, decisive decisions. All of the things that I just named are things that you're going to want from Bronny. It's always good to have some self-creation as a role player, but once Bronny finds a role in the NBA, he's going to be playing off of other players' gravity. I think that Bronny studying Lonzo Ball would do a lot of good for him, which, by the way, we have a new Lonzo Ball breakdown up on the channel. Be sure to check that out after this video. Coincidentally, I also think that a point guard like ZO2 would do a lot of good for the Lakers, but that's a topic for another video. So, I was even impressed with some of Bronny's finishes against the Warriors. Despite his height of 6'3", he's way too strong and way too athletic to be a poor finisher. But as a finisher, he still needs to do a better job of recognizing appropriate finishing opportunities. But as he gets overloaded with reps in the G League, this is something that I would expect to get ironed out. I'm actually really looking forward to seeing how he does once he gets his feet under him in the G League. Former All-Star Kenyon Martin thinks that it's a mistake to send Bronny down to the G League because everybody's going to be going at him, which I think is dumb, because you can't hide Bronny forever. At some point, he's going to have to be forced to grow. He's a professional now, for crying out loud. Everybody going at him should only make him stronger. Guys, let me know what you think of this whole situation down in the comments below. Anyways, there's some more going on in the basketball world that I need to be covering. Clicking the video on the screen right now and using code COOP for underdog are great ways to support this channel. I'm GetLikeCoop, bringing you guys the scoop until our next upload.